Laker fans, my name is Sammy Long. Per usual, this is another Laker preview video, getting everybody some things to watch out for in the upcoming Laker matchup and some things to take away for the game. Before we get into it, I'm from Los Angeles. I know a lot of you watching either live there or have family and friends who live there. You're from there, and heart breaks for everything going on in LA right now with the fires, and wish everybody safety, and just our thoughts are all with them. So I wanted to kind of get that out the way before we started the video. The Lakers are scheduled to be playing the San Antonio Spurs. They were originally supposed to do a 2-game series, but the last game against the Spurs got canceled along with the Hornets game last week. So the Lakers are scheduled to be back in action as with the Clippers. We're going to get into the Spurs in a little bit, talk about Jared Vanderbilt, who looks like he may be returning soon, which is a great sign for the Lakers. First, let's do a quick revisit to that last night or the last week's game against Dallas. Lots going on, so it's kind of easy to forget about. It was just quick recap. Bad game by the Lakers. I mean, guys really did not play well. Spencer Dinwiddie got off. PJ Washington. The Mavs role players had a huge game. Obviously, no Kyrie Irving in that game. No Luka Doncic. Dante Exum was out as well. So it was really disappointing loss considering they did not have a lot of guys in the backcourt. Lakers didn't score very much. Outside of Finney Smith having 11 off the bench and Dalton Knecht with 13 off the bench, Gabe Vincent 0 for 4, 0 points. Reddish and Milton did not play. And Jackson Hayes 1 point. And then the starting lineup, Rui had a really tough night with 6. Reaves had 15, but had a really tough night defensively. The Mavs game plan was literally target Reaves, switching ball screens just to get the on-ball defender to be Austin Reaves, and they were just taking advantage of that all night. LeBron had almost a triple-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and AD at 21 and 12, and Max Christie at 12. So not a very good game all around. A bad loss considering that the Lakers had a lot of momentum going for them, and the Lakers really shouldn't lose to a team without Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. That just shouldn't happen. I know they were playing at home. Still, the Lakers were, I believe, 6.5-point favorites going into that game. That's one that I think the Lakers are going to look back on at the end of the year and be like, that's not one you should have lost. But hey, the Lakers are still in a good spot. They're still been winning a lot of games. Still been playing pretty good basketball recently outside of taking that game. Looking for the Spurs for a little bit of a reset. Before we get to the Spurs, Vando return coming soon. This is huge news for the Lakers. Acquiring Torian Finney-Smith gives you an elite defender. D'Angelo Russell not being there, D'Lo was a liability defensively. Jared Vanderbilt is the best defender on this team when he's healthy, and the Lakers haven't seen him since February of last year. So it's been a long time coming. We heard that he was going to be ready for the start of the year. Then it was a couple weeks in. Then it was November, December, and then now early January. But it really does feel like he's coming back soon, which is awesome. And just the things the Lakers are going to be able to deploy with Jared Vanderbilt, Cam Reddish, Dorian Finney-Smith, Max Christie's really developed as a defender. He's put a little muscle on. So the Lakers got 4 guys that can really play a lot of defense, and that's not something the Lakers the last few years just could have said. Even when they had Vando, it was kind of just Vando, and it didn't felt like Darvin Ham or anyone trusted Cam Reddish in the playoffs. I thought Cam has played pretty well this year. It's nice to know that you have 4 guys that you can really put on an Oklahoma City, a Denver, teams that have a lot of big-time scorers that you're going to need to have waves of defenders, and you can't just have one guy getting foul trouble. Jared Vanderbilt gets a couple quick fouls, then he's on the bench. Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt, Max Christie will certainly be playing a lot, and Cam Reddish maybe a little bit if it got to the postseason, but that's a little ways away. JJ Wright provided an update. He said Jared was able to get 2 of the last 3 days, some live action with our South Bay team, which I think is really good for him. This was on Friday. We want to give him more exposure to live play against professionals before we set a sort of target date, but it is imminent that he'll be back with us in the next, hopefully, few weeks. Then he said, obviously, his defensive versatility and being able to guard up or down will be great for our group, but I would just say initially coming back, it's going to be in small doses. That's just the reality. He hasn't played basketball in almost a year. We have to be cognizant of building him up for hopefully a playoff run. So when he does come back, going to be on a minutes restriction, small minutes. I like this. You don't want him to get hurt again, because I think that's kind of been the thing with this Laker team all year is Jared Vanderbilt's coming back, and people really want to see what this team looks like. Reaves was a disaster defensively last week, but he has been scoring the basketball really well. Max Christie's taking a step in the right direction offensively. Knecht, Finney-Smith. You got a lot of scorers on this team. Rui, I know he had a tough game against the Mavs, But again, being able to deploy this kind of defensive mentality, and then, AD and LeBron doing their thing as always, I think that's kind of been the thing looming in the back of the head all year. And I think it'll be interesting when Vando comes back, how good this team gets defensively, because Lakers were really bad down that stretch there with the loss to Minnesota, the loss to Miami, and then have really locked in recently and become better. Dorian Finney-Smith, that's something to say about that. And Cam Reddish, I thought, has stepped up, as I mentioned, and Max Christie playing better. I think it'll change the way the Lakers look at the trade deadline, because Lakers are still kind of in a wait and see mode. They pulled off the D'Lo trade, got Dorian Finney-Smith, Shake Milton, both young guys. Finney-Smith is 31, Shake Milton's 28, but guys that could be here for the next few years, even post LeBron. And I think the Jared Vanderbilt coming back in the next few weeks, the Lakers are going to determine, are the Lakers going to try to swing a big move to try to go for this, or are they going to still put some fringe pieces around, which could still be going for it. I think it's not necessarily the right way to go for the third star and trade all your young talent. I like what the Lakers did, adding around the edges, Finney-Smith, Shake Milton. I think you could make another deal, keeping all those first-round picks, adding a young player that could help now, but also go for the future. But I think they're kind of waiting on this Jared Vanderbilt to come back, because we haven't really got Christian Wood as well. They dealt with a lot of injuries all year. We haven't really got to see the team fully healthy. LeBron mentions that a lot in his post game, and I think he is right. So hopefully return soon. No date set quite yet, but should be here in the next week or so. Look at the Spurs. So the Lakers have had 2 big games against them so far already this year. In the first game, the Lakers beat the Spurs 120-115, 80 at 40 points in that game. It was kind of a wild game because the Lakers had a pretty good lead in that game, and the Spurs really made a good push in the fourth quarter. But the Lakers were able to hold on. In the second game, the Lakers whooped the Spurs 119-101. Dalton Connect led the Lakers with 20 points, and all starters were in double figures. So really complete game. D'Lo and Max Christie had good games tonight, good games off the bench in that one as well. The Spurs are kind of flailing right now. Obviously, they had the one game canceled because they were supposed to play the Lakers on Saturday. But 3-game losing streak for the Spurs. Their last game was a 121-105 loss to the Bucks. Their last win was 4 games ago against Denver. The injury report, so AD and LeBron are probable. Bronny's questionable with an illness. Shafino, Vando, and Wood are out like usual. And the only guy that really for the Spurs is Jeremy Sochan. He's questionable with a back injury. They got a couple other guys, but they don't really play. So Sochan's the really only guy that gets legit minutes. The Lakers are going to play the Spurs twice. So that obviously that game got postponed last week. This one, the Lakers are 2-0 against them. They have a 4-game series, or 4-game total for the whole year. If the Lakers win one of the next 2, they're going to have a tiebreaker. So the Spurs currently sit in 12 with a record of 18-19, but everyone's clumped. I mean, the Lakers are 20-16. All these teams from 6 to 12 are really right there. So a tiebreaker against the Spurs would mean a lot. And I think the Spurs are only going to get better as the season goes on because they are so young. This whole lineup, outside of Chris Paul leads the team with 8 assists per game. He's the only vet. Stephon Castle has been excellent at a UConn. He's only gotten better and better as it went on. Obviously won the title last year with UConn. Had a couple nice games against the Lakers. Harrison Barnes, veteran defender, used to play for the Warriors. We all know him. Wemby, unbelievable, leads the team with 25 points per game, almost 11 rebounds per game. Devin Vassell, really nice player. He's the second leading scorer on the team with about 15 points. So he's had some big games against the Lakers. And then really there's 4 guys that play off the bench. Keldon Johnson, he's moved in and out of the starting lineup a little bit. Trey Jones out of Duke, point guard. He kind of backs up Chris Paul, get spots and minutes. Charles Bassey has recently got some minutes at center. He's a young player. And then Julian Champagne is also good as well. So they play about 9 guys, really young, kind of trying to see what they are. The Spurs are a tough team to figure out because you can see some nights where they look unreal when everyone's clicking. And so, like some nights against the Bucks, they didn't really get Wemby involved offensively as much, but then Wemby can drop 40 on you. So I think that is due to the team being so young and kind of figuring out the roles between playing your veteran Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul versus, Vassell and Castle and Johnson, these guys, and trying to kind of mix it in, because this team is trying to compete this year, but really are probably a year or 2 away. They need another star to really land with them. It's been rumored a lot, De'Aaron Fox possibly going to San Antonio. They're really trying to pair someone with Wemby. kind of be his running mate. Vegas has this game currently as the Lakers favored by 3.5. The total is 221.5 and open at 223.5. Again, for all you gamblers who are interested in that. So this will be a big game. Big game. You know, obviously an emotional week for the Lakers. I'm sure, you know, it's going to be an emotional night. And the Lakers, you know, again, could win a season series. The Lakers have been playing good ball recently. I'll take that Mavs game out. The Lakers get back to what they're doing. You know, it's nice that the reinforcements are coming. Hopefully Christian Wood's coming back as well soon. And I'm just excited to see, because the Lakers were really on a tear there, and that Mavs loss was really depressing because it felt like it's one of those games that the Lakers are going to look back on. But hopefully the Lakers don't let it build. And you got the Spurs. You got a schedule here that looks like you could take advantage of. The Heat, definitely want to give the Heat some payback. Gonna have D'Angelo Russell, seeing him again on Friday with the Nets. So, but some teams that you really could look to take advantage of. The Heat are kind of flailing with Jimmy Butler out, and not the same team. So the Lakers have a bit of a schedule that you'd like to take advantage of here, and hopefully can get a tiebreaker over the Spurs. So I appreciate everyone for listening. Alan's going to get you guys on his show in the morning. He's also going to get you guys on the post-game show, and hopefully we're talking about a Laker dub after it. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Go Lakers.